All right, here we do the 2.3 Ready, Set, Go. This is from Mathematics Vision Project. Make sure you put your name at the top of the document as well as your period number and today's date. So we're starting here with a Math 1 review of concepts because in this entire chapter we're going to be focusing on x-intercepts, except instead of from linears we're going to be focusing for quadratics. But so here it goes back into a linear review of how to get an x and y intercept. And for the linear review, we're looking at things in standard form. That would be ax plus by equals c. And by definition, we know that an x-intercept is when y is equal to 0, and we know that a y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. The format that you're going to write these answers in is going to be 0, comma, some y value, and x, comma, 0. Okay, let's go do one. Here comes the full work of what's expected to get an x-intercept. When y is equal to 0, we write out the entire equation for the first time, and then we set y equal to 0, which just zeroes out. So essentially it means we're just solving the 3x equals 12 part, so x is just equal to 4 when y is 0. So the format that I write that x-intercept answer would look like this. And then we go to the same thing for the y-intercept. Sorry, let's title it y-intercept. Is when x is equal to 0. And this time we set x equal to 0 and solve. We notice that that one zeroes out. And so essentially we're just solving 2y equals 12. And then notice the format that we write that answer with a 0, comma, that value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Label and scale your graph. And then to graph by intercepts, you just go put those two dots on there. The first dot, x-intercept, is 4, comma, 0. And the second dot is 0, comma, 6. And all we need to graph a line is 2 dots. And so we're good. Connect it. Draw your arrows. And there's our line graphed by intercepts. All right, pause the video and try the next one on your own. All right, this time for the x-intercept. We know that the y is going to zero out. So we get that x is equal to negative 3. And for the y-intercept, we know that the x is going to zero out. We know that the format that we're going to write these answers is going to be in x, comma, 0 format and 0, comma, y format. Go ahead and label and scale your graph. First dot's going to go at negative 3, 0. Second dot's going to go at 0, 2. Connect. Notice this time we had a negative intercept because there was a negative up here in the original. And a negative at the end. Okay, next one, we're going to solve first for the x-intercept, where the y is essentially going to zero out. And then we put that into intercept format. Then we solve for the y-intercept, where the x zeroes out. And we put that into intercept format. Label and scale your graph. Then go put your dots. There's my y-intercept, 5, 6, 7, 0. There's my x-intercept. Connect those. Okay, for this next one, for the x-intercept, we know that the y zeroes out. For the y-intercept, we know that the x zeroes out. Go label and scale your graph. Four, 0, 0, -2. Connect. Okay, this next one's not ready. We want to get those 6x's over on the other side. So we get something like -6x plus 2y equals -18 by subtracting the 6x from both sides. And now we can go ahead and isolate and solve. So we're going to go first, the y zeroes out. Then the x zeroes out. Go label and scale your graph. First dot at 3, 0, 0, -9. Connect it. Now, what if we don't move things around? Could we still just plug in x and y? Sure, but when you plug in 0, let me just show you in this other one here what I mean. For the x-intercept, it's when by definition y is 0. So if we put y equal to 0 at the end like that, you just have to move the 6x's over, and then it makes it easy to solve. So it's a little bit weird because the 0 goes at the end, but not too bad, right? And then for the y-intercept, since it's already in mx plus b format, you might have already noticed that b is just 6 or your y-intercept is just 6. But to see the actual work for it, we say for the y-intercept, it's when x is 0. So that zeroes out, and y is just 6. Connect it. Oops, I forgot to label and scale. Okay, so that's just a quick review on intercepts. Hopefully you remember those from Math 1.